Hey, it's James Trent, and today I'm reviewing Smarter, Faster, Better by Charles Duhigg. I bought the audiobook for this book, and I loved it. Also, the narrator, Mike Chamberlain, I believe his name was, super great narration. Just gotta say that in the audiobook. I love audiobooks. So what were some of my key takeaways from this book? First big group of takeaways I had was about teams. He cites a lot of research that's been done on team building and on how teams can best work together. And he actually found that if you assemble a team of superstars, of people who are really, really, really good individually, that they won't necessarily be the best team. And he actually found that teams of average people outperformed teams of superstars because of the concept of the group is greater than the sum of its parts. However, what made that team do so well? What made those teams do so well? And he actually calls it an environment of psychological safety. Basically creating an environment on the team where everyone feels safe, valued, and important. So how do you create a team like this that's cohesive, that works really well together, that feels safe, and that can really flourish as a team? One thing he talks about is making sure everyone is clear on the vision they're working towards as a team. Making sure everyone's bought in personally, that they're invested in that vision and that they want to see it come to fruition. They're working on something bigger than themselves. Giving each person a high level of autonomy. He talks about no matter how big your organization is, each person should be an expert at something. So one of the phrases that Charles Duhigg uses a lot in talking about teams is this idea of psychological safety. So how do you create psychological safety? It comes back to creating an environment where people feel heard, where people are listened to well, where everyone on the team is contributing ideas, and they're all working towards the same vision. He talks about that that's really important, making sure everyone is clear on the vision the team is working towards, not just that they're not distanced, that they're not distanced from the mission of the company, that they're not just going to work to get paid, but that the team, there's a strong sense of camaraderie and moving towards a vision that we're all working towards. So that was a big takeaway that I had. Another thing is creating disfluency. And he has a whole chapter on this, that when we want to absorb information and learn something new, we want to force our brain to interact with the information, to play with it, to react to it. So ask questions about it, write a paper about it, write an article about it, make a video about it. So he says one example is that writing physically is more disfluent than typing. So this is something that I've applied to my own life, where if I really want to learn something and I know, okay, I want to absorb this information, I'll get out my notebook and I'll actually write notes instead of taking notes in Evernote on my phone or on my laptop. So that's one takeaway that I've actually applied in my life and that I do a lot now. The last thing I want to talk about is why. Why are you doing this? Reminding yourself of your vision when it gets hard. So he tells this great story of these Marines who are completing their training to become Marines. And they've got this one final test, and it's really, really hard and intense. It's days long, and they're climbing up this hill, and they're asking each other, why are you doing this? Why are you here? Why are you miserable like this? Why are you putting yourself through this? And they answer each other. They're like, to build a better future for myself and my family, to become a Marine. It's a super inspiring story, but Charles Duhigg says we can do this too, to ask ourselves, when things get hard, when we get off track, when we get off course, when we get down, when we get discouraged, when we get off track, why are you doing this? Even in the smallest tasks, to make sure we always know how they align with our bigger goals and objectives and values. To make sure that in each little thing that we do, we know why we're doing it. So this is something that I've applied in the weeks after reading Smarter, Faster, Better. I would ask myself, why? Why are you doing this? When I got discouraged, when I got off track, when I got caught up in busy work, I would ask, why? Why are you doing this, James? What is your goal for this? What is your big goal? And I would remind myself, and that would help me get back on track. So this is a really powerful thing that you can use to keep yourself on track towards your goals, even in the small day-to-day tasks. So that's my book review for Smarter, Faster, Better. Love this audiobook. Love the narration. Love the content. I'm going to go back and listen to some parts of it again. I'm going to probably write a full review on my blog, jamestrent.net. Anyway, I would totally recommend checking this out. Smarter, Faster, Better audiobook or the book by Charles Duhigg. Thanks for watching.